times parents sort of feel guilty somewhere, even though they know that they've not created the problem. And it so happens because these children will not have a normal life as other children. Parents overcompensate in the sense that what is not given to other children of this child's age, it will be given to him. It's sort of a overcompensation for lot of things he will not get in life. Child never asked for it, remember, you are giving it. For example, he's allowed to watch, he's allowed to, let's say, eat on the bed when other children are not allowed to eat on the bed. He's allowed to get away by watching television for 4 hours when others are allowed only for 3 hours. What happens? This happens because everyone around usually feels it's okay, he's a special child, so everything is okay for him. And once he gets used to certain way of getting things and he feels, okay, I want and I get it. And once that thing goes into the mind, the child feels extremely entitled and they get conditioned to it. Instant gratification. I want, I need it, I should get it. Otherwise, they're going to be a ruckus. Remember, parents, boundaries are for everyone. Only because the child is special, he shouldn't be allowed to get away but not having any boundaries, any accountabilities, any check and balances. Till he is small, it's look cute. When the same child becomes a teenager, a preteen and a teenager, he will be as tall as you, more taller than you. Then the same behavior, you will be disgusted, you will be distressed, you will be traumatized with why this teenager is behaving like this. Remember, there is something called tough parenting or tough love. What is tough love? An example of this is the child might not like a bitter medicine, but will you say, okay, because you have a high fever, let me not give you medicine because you don't like it? The child doesn't like it, but child needs it. That is tough love. Same, it goes with parenting. Anything in life, any sort of rules and basic ground rules you have in life should be inculcated in the special child as well. That is when he will understand boundaries and will have realistic expectation from people and situation. Reinforcement is a term that means anything that increases the possibility of an appropriate behavior happening is reinforcement. So usually what happens is we usually use one type mostly. Like if something good has happened, we say good. If something inappropriate happens, we say bad or we scold them. So it's more of a conventional way of looking at it. But after a point, you're bad, you're not good, or a star or a chocolate will stop affecting the child that much because it loses its novelty. It brings in monotony. We have to understand that yes, we have to acknowledge and validate the appropriate behavior and show a strong dislike for inappropriate behavior. For that, we have to use multiple ways because one way will not work for long. So basically, let's say if a child does something right, what do? You add a desirable thing. It could be a desire, like it could be a praise, it could be a something to eat, or it could be something the child wants to have. So one way of is adding something desirable in the situation. Another way of reinforcing a good behavior is taking away something he doesn't like. For example, he hates to have turmeric milk in the afternoon or in the evening. If he does something desirable and you want to reinforce it and strengthen it, you need not always give something desirable. You can say, fine, you liked it, so today you will not get your turmeric milk which you don't like. So that will become a motivating thing for the child. So it can be that. I'm just giving an example. You can use it in your daily life depending on what is relevant. Another way of reinforcing a behavior, inappropriate behavior, not reinforcing, another way of stopping an inappropriate behavior is adding something undesirable, like, scolding, or probably, giving him extra something to do because as a compensation for it, like he broke something, so he's supposed to go pick it up and clean it or whatever. That can be the thing. Another way of handling a misbehavior is taking away something which is desirable. The child likes to take the dog for a walk in the evening. As a consequences of your misbehavior, today you're not getting that activity. So it's like, taking away, adding something uh, can be done. Another thing which I think is very relevant in Indian society is ignoring. Many a times, a lot of misbehavior is more of conditioning and habit rather than anything else. So the child knows that I have to misbehave in a certain way and a certain level to get what he wants. And when you start to ignore it, not you're keeping an eye on the child is safe wherever he is, but you're totally ignoring it, not engaging in a power struggle with the child is not going to keep quiet. The child is going to scream more or misbehave more. And then if you give in to the child knows how much to do to make the no become yes. You have to understand a no should remain a no despite whatever he does. Once his misbehavior or escalation of misbehavior does not give him what he wants, he will stop doing the misbehavior. The problem is, if you usually in the Indian families, if mother says no, the daddy says yes. If mom and dad says no, a grandparent will say yes. So everyone has to remain a no remains a no despite whatever happens. So ignoring and deliberately not engaging is a behavior is solution for conditioning and habitual misbehavior. So that really works fine, but all the family members needs to be on the same page.